What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Domination Sports with your boy, Dominic. Today, we're going to be discussing the All-Star break, some All-Star game thoughts, as well as what are my bold second half, or not so bold predictions for the second half of the season. If you like this content, please give this a like and leave a comment down below on what your thoughts are for this second half of the Major 2022 Major League Baseball season. Alright, let's get things started. First, as for the All-Star game, I think it's ridiculous that Clayton Kershaw is the starter. That should have clearly been Sandy Alcantara. And I get it, you want to have a little bit of fan service, but isn't there some merit to being the best pitcher in the game? Doesn't that allow you to be the representation for the All-Star break, the All-Star game? I believe that has been a crime. And another thing that I've noticed is that a lot of the fan voted in and a lot of the guys who should have been starters are being replaced. So this is just like the replacement All-Star game. It's kind of a little bit sad, to be honest with you. Not that these guys don't deserve it, but it's not like the main stars who were clearly All-Stars. A lot of these guys are being subbed in and subbed out, and I'm just sitting here like, what's the point of that? Are we turning this into the Pro Bowl now? Are we turning this into the NBA All-Star game? By the way, which the NBA All-Star game has made some big come-ups the last couple years. But anyway, I don't like that. I do believe that that's a good way to go about things. Like, the All-Star games, they should show up. But on the other hand, you do want them to be healthy and not risk. As a team, you want them to be healthy and not risk injury. So I get that from the team and financial, expenses. But as a fan, this is a day where the fans are showing up to watch an expedition baseball game where it doesn't count for anything besides home field in the World Series. So I guess at the end of the day, it's just like one of those things where, you know what, I guess you're still going to be settled to see some other talented stars at the end of the day. So that's just my thoughts on that. So moving on to the my predictions for the second half of the season. Let's get started. For the 3 American League wildcard spots, I tell you what, the American League wildcards, it's so tight because now you even have Baltimore making a big run out of nowhere. And I know they thought Baltimore was going to be improved this year, but nobody saw 9 in a row and 10 out of 11 coming. You know what I'm saying? Baltimore is here. And my thing, and I'm going to do a later video on buyers and sellers, and you might be surprised on my answer with the Orioles, given the market. When it comes to the Red Sox, full disclosure, I am a Red Sox fan, but I don't see them making the playoffs this year because they don't have bullpen pitching. The pitching rotation is not healthy, and Chris Sale is probably going to be out for the season, most likely. And Michael Walker, who's been fantastic, by the way, just has not been very durable. And I think that's been his problem. He has not been able to be healthy throughout his career. And Nick Pivetta is too inconsistent. So I don't see, as a Red Sox fan, I don't see them making the playoffs this year. I don't see them making a wild card spot because I think that it's becoming clear that they got problems. And now that changed to should they be buyers or sellers? That will be discussed in another video. So the other wildcard teams that I find very interesting is the Seattle Mariners, because Seattle has been red hot, and they were only a game out of making it last season. So I think they're definitely trying to avoid the fact of missing out on a playoff one game. I think they make the playoffs this year. They have a great future young superstar in Julio Rodriguez. Robbie Ray has turned his season around after his slow start after getting that contract in Seattle. He's definitely turning his season around. And they got some good pieces. They shortstop J.P. Crawford, and they got pieces Eugenio Suarez, and they got some good guys pitching out of the bullpen. Paul Sewald has been a revelation, former Met. I think they have a good chance of making the playoffs this year. What a run for Seattle. So those are my 2 wild cards, and then obviously I believe that the top wild card is going to be Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay is going to definitely get one of those wild cards. It's crazy what they do in Tampa Bay. They don't have any superstars. They're missing the best young phenom, Wander Franco. I really believe that they have a chance to really turn this to make a run, because every time you count out Tampa Bay, they're always here making a run and making things happen. So as a result of that, I really believe that Tampa's going to take one of those wild cards. So I got Seattle and Tampa so far, with Baltimore just missing barely, and Boston missing. So that third wild card, it's probably gonna go to Toronto. I think they have too much talent not to make the wild card. They just need Barrios, and they need Barrios to turn his season around, continue to turn his season around. Struck out 13 in his last start before the Allstar break. They need him to turn his season around. They also need your guys to stay healthy, because George Springer is a question mark with his health. They need him to stay healthy. They need Vladdy to continue to heat up, which he's been doing pretty well right now. And they also need Bo Bichette to keep raking, and Teoscar Hernandez. And what a call up, and what a prospect Alejandro Kirk has become. He is my rookie of the year. If he's in the quality running, he's my rookie of the year by far in the American League. Even though Julio Rodriguez is up there too. So those are my top 2 candidates for rookie of the year. So those are my bold predictions for the American League wild card. In the National League, I think the wild cards are not so obvious. You got Atlanta, and you got probably San Diego. That's probably going to win that last wild card. It's not as condensed because a lot of the other teams, the Giants, have taken a big step back. The San Francisco Giants lost Kevin Gausman. That's been a big loss to the rotation. And Alex Wood has been very inconsistent. And the other is Anthony Discofalani. I can't even say his name. He has been struggling too. Has not been a good move for them. So I think this might be a Roots Healing year, and they might end up being sellers too. They have not been able to repeat that success from 2021. So you might want to look at them at being sellers too. As far as teams like the Mets and the Braves, that NL East is going to be close. I get the Mets holding on because they're expected to keep Scherzer. They're expected to get DeGrom back. Jacob DeGrom should be coming back within the next couple of weeks, right after the All-Star break. So that's going to be a big relief to them, even though he's probably at first, for at least the first month, he's going to be on an innings pitch count restriction. So you got to keep an eye out on that. But you also got Max Scherzer, Chris Bassett. And honestly, the biggest surprise for the Mets is Taijuan Walker. He's got a 2.63 ERA. He's been lights out. He's been pitching really good for the Mets. So he's been that number 4. And honestly, when it comes to the playoffs, that's all you need. Honestly, you really need 3 starters. But number 4, you got Taijuan Walker. So that adds an extra layer of things for them. As a result, I think the Mets have some great pieces to make a deep run. As for the Braves, they've been hot. They've been one of the hottest teams in baseball over the last couple of months. So I think they're gonna run away with that wild card, and I can see them, honestly, if things add up, I wouldn't mind seeing a Mets Braves National League Championship Series. That's if things line up and everything goes perfectly in a perfect world. So I can definitely see that happening. And I think out of those 2 teams, those are the 2 that should be the World Series favorites in the National League. The National League Central is very, very suspect. The Brewers are very flawed. The Cardinals, even with the monster season by Goldschmidt, and they have Arenado, and they have, Tommy Edman, and they got Adam Wainwright, who's still pitching like he's 28. So I still think they got a lot of flaws. I think that the National League champions coming out of the NL East, and then obviously NL West, you got the Dodgers, you got the Los Angeles Dodgers out west, who are just killing it, but I don't believe in them making a run, because are you going to get Walker Buehler back before the end of the season? Is he going to be healthy? Is Clayton Kershaw going to hold up those innings? He's 30. He's on the other end of 30. So is he going to be able to keep up this performance? So those are questions that the Dodgers have. They got a stacked lineup. I might as well just do a road to show, forced trades, and that's what you get, the Dodgers lineup. My goodness. But, and then clearly ever since the agent fiasco has subsided, Freddie Freeman's been killing it. His average is up to 320 with a dozen dingers, I believe. So he's been killing the game, Freddie Freeman. So, lineup-wise, by far the Dodgers have the best lineup. But I still wouldn't take their pitching over the Mets. I think the Mets have an advantage in the pitching. And I think the Braves and Dodgers lineup lines up. So it's going to be an interesting run for those 2 teams. Those are the 3 favorites of the NL. And then, obviously, back to the AL Central, you got the Houston Astros, who, I tell you what, how about that Justin Verlander, man? 38, 39 years old, and he is the Cy Young favorite in the American League. It's insane. It's crazy what he's been able to do at his age. But, hey, the magic of marrying Kate Upton and that Tommy John resurgence is a hell of a thing for Justin, for JV. So, it's an amazing thing. It's like fantastic, and I think the Astros are obviously going to run away with that division. There's not even that close second. My goodness, what happened to the Angels, man? What the hell happened to the Angels? They fell off quicker than Britney Spears. I don't understand. I don't know. But that's another story for another day. But Houston, in the American League, Houston should be heavy favorites to win the World Series. And that gives me to the Yankees. So, the question with the Yankees is this pitching staff going to hold up? You already seen Nestor Cortez fall off a little bit. You already seen James Talion, who's been roughed up. Besides his past start on Saturday night, he's been roughed up. So how trustworthy is James Talion? Because it's going to come down to it. You got Garrett Cole struck out 13 Red Sox in his last start. He's dominant. Finally exercised those Red Sox Devers demons. Good for him. But after that, who's there? And even in the playoffs, do you really 100% trust Garrett Cole after what he pulled in a wild card game against Boston last year? As long as the playoffs are not in Fenway, I would trust Cole. He just can't pitch against the Red Sox at Fenway Park. So that's another situation where it's like, can you trust the guy to go anywhere else? I believe you can, honestly. Just not as a Red Sox fan. I hate to be a pro Yankees, but it is what it is. And obviously, Aaron Judge. Is he MVP? Is he going to be able to stay healthy? It's so far he's been very healthy, and he's going for that mega payday. He's on pace for like 60, 61 home runs. He's got the most home runs by a Yankee at the house since guess who? 1961, Roger Maris. So that's an interesting. That's going to be an interesting chase if he plays every game, which I think they got more important ambitions than the home run record, which would honestly be good for the sport. But I think Aaron Judge is going to win the MVP. I think Cole is going to be up there it's going to be between Cole and Verlander. I'm trying to think there's another name out there that I'm trying to keep in American League Cy Young. But right now, those are my two favorites for the AL Cy Young. I think Verlander's going to win it at almost 40 years old. He should be if there's a comeback player to in baseball, it should be Verlander and the Cy Young. So, and obviously that's what I think that's going to happen. I think these are my hot takes for the season. I believe that there's going to be a lot more going on, and I believe there's going to be a lot of call-ups. So, and it's been interesting, and I want to notice one pick in the draft, right? So even with Francisco Alvarez coming up through the Mets system, they drafted another catcher. I found that interesting. Why? Why would they do that? Obviously, it could be speculative. It could just be extra depth, or could they potentially be preparing for a Juan Soto trade? See, these are the things you got to think outside the box. I'm no Mets insider, but think about it. If Alvarez was off the table, would they have drafted another catcher, especially at the similar age range? Those are the questions that you really got to think, especially in the first round. So, especially when they could use to develop some more pitching, and they haven't really developed that many pitching prospects since DeGrom. So, it's very, very interesting to me that that they make that move. But that's just my hot take. That's just what I believe. There's not really much going on there. Maybe it could be nothing. So, that's what I think. With all that being said, I believe that so these takeaways are the Mets and the Braves and the Dodgers should be the three favorites in the National League. The Astros and the Yankees are the clear favorites to win the American League. I got the Astros by a slight margin. I'll take their experience. They still got that deep lineup. And honestly, I want to go back on my MVP statement real quick for the American League. I know Judge has been crazy with the home run numbers. But if healthy, Yordan Alvarez and Rafael Devers aren't too far behind. Especially Yordan. If you saw those numbers that Yordan was putting up before the season started, before he got hurt on the IL, you can make the case he was the number one. He should be the MVP over Judge. Because he's got some of the home run numbers. It's not that far off. But the batting average is much better. He's almost hitting 20 points higher than Judge. And you can make the argument, yeah, he's a DH. He barely plays the field as much as Judge. I get that. But the numbers are the numbers. With all that being said. So, there's definitely a lot to get into. And, by the way, I did want to say that, real quick, another shout out to Sandy Alcantara. He is my National League Cy Young winner. And it's not even, No disrespect to guys like Corbin Burns, Aaron Nola, and everybody else that is pitching great, and Clayton Kershaw and Tony Gonsolin. Sandy Alcantara, look at he's putting up 8 innings, 9 innings. He's a workhorse. We don't see many of that anymore. We don't see many workhorses that go 8, 9, 7, 8, 9 on a consistent basis. Everybody's pulled off to 100 pitches now. But this guy is a dog, man. He's a dog. We don't have as many dogs as pitchers anymore. Sandy Alcantara is a fucking dog. It's like, bro, look at the inning, look at the rookie. He still has a 1.6 ERA. It's incredible. With all the things that the Marlins have gone wrong, this is the one gem that they got right. The one gem that they have right. It's incredible. It's really, really incredible. And Pablo Lopez, who started off even better than Alcantara, he's fallen back to earth, back to the means a little bit. He's still a solid number 2. So what's wrong with the Marlins? They got a sick rotation. They got guys, and they still got guy who got hurt, Edward Cabrera. He's supposed to be better than Alcantara. Hey, wait till they get him back. So the thing about the Marlins is nobody can ever doubt their ability to scout pitching. Nobody. It's the fact that they can't hit. And the fact that they can't acquire hitting. They can't hit any. They just can't develop hitters. Jazz Chisholm is like the only homegrown star they have right now, man. In terms of defensive offensive side of the ball. Their pitching, there's no doubt, is elite. No freaking doubt. So, I want the Marlins to do good because I'm from Florida. I want to see them succeed. I got friends that are Marlins fan. My friend Ty, he's the nicest guy in the world. He deserves to see the Marlins win. But can they develop hitting? Can they develop fielders? And that's the thing. So, that's what I got today with this video. And I just thought I'd share. I thought I'd share that this second half of baseball should be interesting. Especially with some guys coming back off injury, and the return of DeGrom should be hyped. So the 3 things I'm going to be looking for before I close this video out is, can the Yankee starters stay consistent? Which they're already starting to show flashes of fatigue and inconsistency. Can the Astros hitters stay consistent? Because you're starting to see some guys get dinged up. And 3 is those 3 wild cards in the American League. That could fluctuate any time. Like I said, I got Tampa, Toronto, and Seattle taking the 3, with Boston and Baltimore finishing a close 4th and 5th. Just missing outside the playoffs. So that's what I think about that. And then you got the National League. Can the Mets pitchers stay healthy? Can DeGrom, when he comes back, stay healthy? Can Max stay healthy? Can Chris Bassett stay healthy? Because honestly, if you're not, Chris Bassett is the best number 3 in baseball. Guy's been consistent since he was in Oakland. Guy came out of nowhere in Oakland, just dominated, drove it through like a 2.9, a 3.0 ERA, 3.3 ERA. And he had a little bit of bumps this year, but he's turned it around. He pitched a gem against the Braves. So, that's my prediction. That's my Mets. I think the Mets, if those pitching stay healthy, they should be the favorites, honestly, to win the National League. But then don't be surprised if Steve Cohen decides to make a big move, which catches everybody off guard, because he's just got those pockets like that, which is good. Everybody wants to say it's bad for the game. I honestly think Steve Cohen is great for the game of baseball, because he's a billionaire fan that wants to invest and wants to spend the money, that wants to see his team win. And that's what it's about. Not this analytic bullshit. Not any of this freaking trying to be cheap and cut costs like the freaking Pittsburgh Pirates, who are just a disgrace in Cincinnati, who are a disgrace right now. Now, baseball is about, you have no salary cap, take advantage. Don't be a cheap, greedy, you know what. Make your team competitive. Make it happen. So, these are my thoughts. So, these are my pre-All-Star break thoughts. Just figured this is going to be a great second half of the season. And I just thought, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of the season. If you like this video, please subscribe and press a like and follow. And I'll talk to you soon. See ya.